Okay, I got my first consist going, and I figured I would share with you guys how I did that because I don't see very much going on with DCC++ EX and Lokprogrammer. So I'll just show you how I work the two of them together. Actually, they're quite separate, but how I do it. So I've got a locomotive here on the track. So this is my switcher. And this guy is totally out of whack with everybody else. And I want to make him match the GTW over there. So this guy's got a lock sound select. That guy's got a lock sound select. So the settings are similar, or they will be quite similar, or they'll almost be the same. So first thing I got to do is read the decoder settings. So got my laptop here. Oh, and I'll just show you my system too. So back under there, you can see the lights flashing. That's my Arduino Mega and my motor shield and Wi-Fi board. And that's running the track right now. It is not connected to this programming track. The programming track is connected to the Lokprogrammer, and the Lokprogrammer is connected to the laptop. So two separate systems. I can do whatever I want on the programming track, and it has no effect on the layout. I basically use the layout just to test the running of the locomotive, make sure that they're speed matched. Okay, so I guess what I've done is I have captured screenshots for the three areas that I try to match to. So the first one I'm going to do, well, first of all, I'll read the decoder. And I'm not going to save this one. I won't save that. Okay, so right now it's reading the decoder off of the CP switcher there, the Rapido SW1200RS. So it takes a little while. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is go down to my motor settings. Okay, and you can see this thing is actually, I don't think I've ever seen a curve like that before. I have no idea what's going on with this thing. I think I was playing around with it, but it's awful. And what I've been doing with the other locos is just using the three values, the V start, V mid, and V high. And so for the first index number, I just preset to 1. And then the second one is set to, I think it's 39. And then the third one is 118. And that sets my Vmax. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll actually press this button here and I'll write the decoder data on that. And I'll overwrite the default values. And so on the right hand side of my screen, actually, I've got the motor settings for the GTW right here. And so what I'll do is I'll just match these numbers. And it's actually pretty good. If you match those numbers, odds are it's going to be running pretty smooth right next to the other one. And I'll just, there's three areas. I do the brake settings, I do the motor settings, and I do the driving characteristics. So I've got screenshots for each one of those to match to. Now this one's taking a while to write to. I think it's because it's the first time I've written to it. It'll take a while. Other than that, it's pretty speedy. Here we go. Almost done. Okay, so I won't bore you guys with the rest of the stuff, but this is basically how I do it. This guy right here, so that's my motor mapping. And then I got my drive mapping. And then the third one, somewhere in here, I've got my my driving characteristics. And basically, once you load all that stuff up, the last thing I do is I run everything on the Helix, one engine in front of the other. And I'll just show you how we can actually run these guys now. Let's see what we got. So this is not doing anything other than the motor characteristics. Let's see what we get. I'll just put the camera down. Okay. So not too bad. That's only changing motor control, nothing else. So they're almost bang on right now. The GT's marginally faster. Okay, so that was pretty quick going there. I'll just pause there for a minute. Okay, so coming back to the laptop. The last thing you want to change once you've got everything else done on these 3 screens is you go into driving characteristics, and the trimming is what I finally mess around with, and it's reverse trimming and forward trimming. And so if I want these guys to go faster, so if I do want the CP rail to go a bit faster and forward, what I would do is, I think I just bump it up by 1 because it was very, very close. So I did forward trimming up by 1. I don't know what reverse trimming is for that switcher, but if he was going too fast, I would bump him down by 1. If he was going too slow, I'd bump him up by 1. And that's how I get them matched all the way through from Vmin to Vmax. So that trimming is critical. That's the last thing you would mess with, assuming all settings are the same. So those are my tips, I guess. Trimming quite important to get the final tweaking, and then do your screenshots for those 3 areas. Those are the majors. And then once you've got all that done, then you got to put it into a consist, which is under address. So the first one here, so you can enable DCC consist address, and then you can select your functions for that engine, what you want to actually work in the consist. So quite good. I'm really happy with Lokprogrammer. I'm really happy with ESU now, actually. It wasn't that much fun doing it through JMRI, but this is fantastic. So I'd highly recommend, if you have a lot of locos with ESU decoders in them, to get yourself a Lokprogrammer. Anyway, that's me for tonight. I hope this helped, guys. It's quite simple to do with DCC++ EX. You really only need that to run the engines and test how your speed settings are being changed. Other than that, just get a laptop and a programmer and you're on your way. Oh, and a programming track. Anyway, I'll be sending up another video soon. Hope you enjoyed this one, got something useful out of it. Have a good evening.